welcome to FMTraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. Hi, you've had Richard. I usually don't ever call him Dad publicly, but I don't know why that slipped out. Usually have Richard been doing the intro recently, but I'm back. Hi, Miles. How you doing? How's life going?
I'm great. Waiting for sunshine.
Yes, it's been a weird summer.
Hmm.
So I have to say, like, it's been really cold where we're at, which is I'm in California and he's up on the north coast up ahead, up that way. Basically, today we're doing a FMSP 2025 free marketplace CRM stuff. We have had this for a while. I was talking to Miles about it a bit earlier. We're basically like knocking the dust off of these sample files and reminding you they exist because they're not part of our usual like most of our sample files these days are now attached to our live streams. These were created before we did serious live stream stuff. So you can go look at those. We'll be talking about that today. If you'd like to support us, we have this option down here. FM training bundles. We have our annual subscriptions. As I always go through a specific spiel about this because I get comments about once every, they'll pop up in my chat sometimes. Some people do not like our live stream format. I totally get it. It's an hour long. There's a lot of stuff that's coming at you. So we also tend to pause a lot for questions, which can make people who like more lecture-based formats really frustrated. The answer to this is to go buy our annual subscription. These videos are very animated, they're highly edited, and they're short form. So I don't think they get longer than 30 minutes, right, Miles? Like they can be anywhere from like 2 minutes to like 30 minutes at max.
Yeah, I'd say probably 90% of them are around like a 7, 8 minute. It's a nice
Yeah,
sweet spot.
most of them are like very short. We cover a huge variety of topics and we're very specific about those topics. So we got a whole like set of stuff that you can search through to find very specific answers. You can basically watch the whole series and go from being a very beginner person who knows nothing about FileMaker to a very intermediate and competent developer just by going through our curriculum. So if you are up to that, or you'd prefer that over the live streams, or you're like, man, I really needed an answer about a specific topic that you guys have not covered recently, go pick up this. Or if you just want to support the channel, to be honest. For people who have bought this, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Seriously, thank you. It helps a lot. Miles, how do you want to do this? Am I sharing the screen while I walk through stuff while you talk it out, or do you want to share your screen, or what's the plan?
I'll share mine in case we get into opening some files. Then I pulled them down already.
Go. Yep, you know what? That'd be good. Okay, cool. In that case, I'm going to let you share your screen.
All right, let's go desktop.
Okay, so first of all, what is the marketplace? What are we even talking about today?
Yeah, so just backs up a little bit. So hello everyone. I've been on here a few times. My name's Miles. I'm one of the managers at RCC and FMTV. I kind of bounce between the two. But yeah, we, in case you missed it, last month released a new version of FM Starting Point. That's FM Starting Point 2025, just to match the year and keep it in line. But fmstartingpoint.com, our free CRM, download it, download a trial of FileMaker, and you can be right into it, moving things around. But as we were updating the website just for, the latest release, we noticed we do have this tab here, Marketplace, and our FM Starting Point Marketplace has been here a while. Like Margaret kind of mentioned before, a lot of our like live streams, we would do a series or we'd do an event, and there might have been a file we created with that, or someone on the RCC staff created a cool file. And this was kind of like the holding place for that. A lot of the streams now, you have that sample file right with the videos able to download. But these are kind of ones that live outside of those. So some of you may say, I know all this, I've seen all this. Some may have seen it a while ago, and there's some new things up here. But we just thought we'd take a day just kind of looking through what's in here to let you know most all of them are free tools. So they're things that you can go grab, play with, and then if you need help or want to talk more, they're all created by RCC. So we got staff to help with that.
Yep.
Excellent.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. The big part about the marketplace is that there's a lot of tools in there that I will use and other people use. It's a little bit like I mentioned this previously, like the Monkey Bread plugin. It can solve a lot of problems for you. If some of you have questions, and this is a conversation that we're going to continue tomorrow, but if you run into a problem where I need to solve this issue, odds are someone else has already solved it, and there's probably a sample file on it. And so this area right here is a good area to dig your nose into and look for things that might be helpful for you, right? The Wolfpack's a big one. Obviously, starting points are Anchor. That anchors the entire operation for RCC. And then we have the training, video training support tab. But if you scroll down, you can see that there's, besides the Wolfpack, there's, the other piece of Wolfpack, there's conversations about lean design, which is interesting. The calendar add-on still continues to be very popular. It was something that we created, and it was sufficiently popular that Claris literally stole it and used it, a simplified version in the release of one of their earlier products. So that one is actually a couple bucks, but for the most part, this stuff is largely free. If we keep scrolling down, Margaret, let's see what else we got. FileMaker. Okay, is that Miles or that Margaret?
It's me. I was going to go through all these, but if you
okay.
Or we could be done in 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I want people to ask questions about this because it's not a long conversation, right? I mean, to be clear, some of you have specific needs, and I'd rather answer questions and let people be able to have reasonably useful answers provided to them if they have a challenge. I mean, I don't know that we want to spend 15 minutes discussing the calendar add-on, right? It puts a calendar in your computer. There you go in FileMaker. Ding, done. Right now, it's a little bit of work, but it's that one. That tool, a lot of these tools are very, very valuable. So, Miles, I mean, what's your thought? If we don't have any questions, then yeah, we just motor through. But
I was just gonna not like high level, but kind of at least click into each one, give a quick this is what it is, and if anyone does pop in with a question or we want to open some up, we can. But otherwise,
cool.
Just
then run with that. That's fine. But if people have questions, I want to make sure we respond to those because that would be the highest value that we can serve to all of you is to help direct you. I mean, to where you're going to find an answer to your integration problem. This is mostly about integration, connecting FileMaker to some other, like something, right? Whatever that is. Okay. All right.
And again, just is not a junk drawer of sorts, but a drawer that we do not open all the time. So as I go through these, even this morning, pulling some down, there are things that need to be updated, whether it's a version or something on a fulfillment email. So if you do download something and something looks out of date, feel free to send us the email, but we are also reviewing those as well. But yeah, like I said, just going to kind of go through each one, not in depth, but just kind of give you a loose what it is. And then if someone wants to message Margaret on, hey, can we look at that? We could dive into more. This one, Live Code for FM. This was a whole video series we did with them just on ways to deploy FileMaker in all different ways. The Android app was the biggest one we kind of focused on. But Live Code for FM is a group in Scotland and pretty cool product they have there. And this is just a whole web series we did with them, 10 videos, sample file.
We do have a question about it. Is there a fee charged by the developers of Live Code?
Yeah, the answer is there's a licensing. I think you can get into it basically free, but as soon as you start deploying it, there's a fee you have to pay. And Claris kind of put the brakes on this somewhat deliberately, and I was in the middle of this when it happened. And what it was is initially this came out, Margaret and Miles, it came out as a way to build an Android application because the problem is that people have been asking a long time for an Android app, and then Claris went on stage in 2019 at the DevCon, and their new vice president, who was shortly thereafter released from service, told everyone, yeah, we're going to build an Android app, no problem. And so he was making it up as he went, and that didn't go so well with management. So Claris is not building an Android app. So this is a way to build an Android app. The problem is that Live Code saw this as a way to generate revenue for themselves, which is great. I'm all for that. And Claris said, well, we don't want to have Live Code, building an Android app and doing it through the web connectivity like DAPI, Margaret, or OData. That's what they would do. And so there was no charge for that, right? And so you could pay Live Code to build an app in Android, to help you build an app in Android. And FileMaker wouldn't get any money from it. It was a way to bypass FileMaker licensing. And so I was there the day that certain VPs and decided that this was bad juju. The problem is that then they just run around and keep saying that no Android for anyone, and instead of finding a way to say yes. So I always try to find ways to say yes, but this is doable. It's available, but you're going to have to pay more per seat. Sorry, I got bugs landing on me here. More per seat with this than you would for FileMaker Go. It just because Claris wants their money, and then LiveCode's going to want some money, and so that's kind of how that works. So just keep that in mind with that. So, all right, so that's that one. Other questions, Margaret, on this? Because this is a really interesting one. That's like a can of like a grenade with rotten worms in it. Right? It's like not good.
No,
and I like the LiveCode people were fantastic people, wonderful people, wonderful people. So it's just.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. I remember our collaboration very fondly. There's kind of a general question that someone asking, like, this is a really nice organization of all these sample files. Is there a way to like is there a mass organization of the live stream sample files?
No,
not
we
really.
not really. Just because the problem is that what we deliver and with the amount of revenue we have, I have to hire another person, right, to manage that if we want to do that, and I have to literally hire someone to do it. It's not like in our spare time we're going to do that, right? So we would, as it is, we are about killing ourselves trying to get everything lined up for the next launch of FileMaker. So I agree, it should be done. I am willing to accept non-tax deductible donations. No, and when I mean that, I mean send a check in 5-figure increments would be great, and then we'll do it for you. Probably.
And I mean, those who are paid subscribers, if you go to our main platform course, there is I think it's like 103, video 103 is our sample files. That's a full zip of any files you'd need for the course. So even if you didn't watch through everything, that's also a nice collection of files there.
Miles, excellent point. Excellent point. So we do have a collection for our paid people in a single directory, but in terms of taking every free live stream and then gluing it all together, that's just, well, it's doable. Once again, donations will be accepted, right? So.
Yes, they're scattered. Most of the time, if people want it, they either go click the video or they go to our live stream. Usually, if they go to our free live stream PSA collection, you'll find if the free live stream has a sample file. That's also a point to remember.
Miles, are you controlling the screen? Miles, just show them PSA real quick if you haven't done it already. Just give them a quick tour of that so they know what they're.
Let me see if I'm logged in or not.
So if you want to support so here's this is called paid subscriber access, which was an inside baseball name. It's like when you name your secret product sales weasel or sales beaver or some shit, then it turns out to be the real product name. This is paid subscriber access, which basically means these are the people that pay to help keep the lights on for all our free live streams and stuff. So they get the benefits up here, and in here is all the official courses and all the things that we're working on. And if you have access to this, you pay us money, you get the premium level access to this.
Yep.
Yes.
And then, if you go into our main platform course here, right here, 103 starting point sample work files, that's your big juicy zip file right there. So.
The tasty zip file.
Yeah, and we continue to update this stuff as we go periodically. It's just people, want to know why I haven't used the latest artwork or icon, right? Like the current version of FileMaker is this icon, and the next one's the next one, and it's we have hundreds of hours of videos that would have to be reshot every time Claris, the marketing department, decides to change a color. So. So you just have to take on, if it's important, we will update the video. Otherwise, you can take it to the bank. It hasn't changed. Because if you think about, just real quick, if you think about it, with every release of FileMaker, they don't move all the furniture and change everything. Because if they did, they would break all our. Claris spends a lot of time making sure that if we build a solution today, it'll work tomorrow and the day after that and the month after that and the year after that. And so they spend a lot of time doing that. So they might change the artwork a little bit or change the style a little bit of a button or part of a window, but the application fundamentally is supposed to behave consistently year to year to year is how that's supposed to work. And so that's why the videos don't have to be completely reshot every 6 months.
Cool. Winding back to the marketplace, we have these two different Wolf items. This one first, Wolfpack add-on manager. You may have seen this one before. This is one of our staff, Christian Olson. It's a whole file to basically manage your add-ons and help add them to your file. And I'll just pull this one open because it is a collection and it does get updated. So if you had saw this when we first released it, go grab it again because it is a whole little library of sorts. And you can see some of it's by RCC staff. We even have some from some other collaborators in here. But this is a little starter pack of add-ons. You can also add your own, and just kind of a good way to get those added to use. But that is the Wolf pack. And then there's, non-confusingly, the toolbox, which this is more of a way to have clips of XML. And if you're using a lot of code, or maybe you have a team of developers and you want to be able to share some of that, I'll pull this one open as well. So you have the actual code here, and then you have the XML of it, and you're able to kind of share that among your team, or look at how someone else wrote something and tweak it from that side. So again, this is preloaded, but then you can add more to it as well.
There you go.
This one's from a while ago. This was an emoji library, very useful. But yeah,
it's fun though.
It's fun. Yeah.
Well,
So,
especially if it has doggy doo-doo in it, then I need that emoji on a frequent basis. So,
oh yeah. But I don't even remember how this originated, but it is here. And
I think,
yeah,
is it a Nick thing? Is this a Nick thing?
it might have, it might be, we'll get to it, but FM Gallery wasn't a tool he had, and he might have been trying to put emojis into a button or something like that.
Well, he
And
does
so,
use them for web viewers and stuff like that. It was very, there was a whole thing about how he was using emojis like the crossed out that this showed up yesterday, so it's probably a Nick thing.
gotcha. But yeah, that's here to play with. Very simple, but it does have a little sample file. You can see how that works there. This one here is another video series we did, actually over multiple years. They're slightly different, but Nick had done different series on UX UI design. And if you can kind of tell from the screenshot there, before we updated FM Starting Point's design, he actually did this whole series on that neomorphism. So here we have back to 2019, 2021, all different series with sample files, just on great design concepts. And a lot of that, Richard always says we eat our own dog food, but we use those to affect our own internal files too.
Yes. There's been a lot of design philosophies he's done over the years, so you can get a wide variety there.
Yep. This one is, if you get FM Starting Point, you have this calendar in it. So this is the same calendar, but it's actually packaged as a separate kit. So if you already have your own standing database and you're like that, I really like the look of that calendar, the ability to drag and drop, filter by staff. There's a lot that calendar can do. This is all in its own kit. Now it does need to be connected in some ways. The cool thing with this one is when you do purchase it, it does come with a step-by-step way to integrate, including videos with it. Some people, that's enough. I'd say if you're an intermediate kind of developer, you could probably follow those and get it in. But we've also had people that say, hey, I want to purchase this, and then let me get one of your staff to spend a couple hours and just help integrate it, and we can do that as well. But same calendar that we have in Starting Point, just as a separate kit to be able to integrate. This one here is kind of a trio. This was a few years ago working with Jesse Barnum from 360 Works. AWS has so many different things up to it, so many services you can talk to and work with. And so these were just 3 different ones that I think he actually did a DevCon or an Engage session on them. And then this came off of that. And when we were starting a lot of our video courses and everything, we actually use this a lot because a couple of these, well, this one's voice to text, and then this one was textract. Yeah, so if you throw a document up, the ability to pull the text off of it. And then this
Yeah,
last one here, I think, is with like Amazon buckets and being able to,
yeah.
yeah,
So can I let me
go for
color
it.
around the
Yep.
edges here a little bit. So here's the deal with everyone. So whoever's here and you're interested in this stuff, first off, there's hundreds and hundreds of services that Amazon provides. Before you go off and build something, text us about what you're interested in. Margaret already can sense things in here. In fact, let me give Margaret a swing at this. So Margaret, what would you say about these demos here? Just
Uh,
pick. There's multiple things. Just pick one and state it for the record.
Voice to text transcription is something that we would use, but we'd use it probably to talk to an AI. We do use it to talk to an AI. So
Okay, so let me rephrase what Margaret was saying. So this was voice to text, and it was old school prior. And once again, AI is still not really AI. It's not self-aware, but it's what we call smart math, and it's better able to pick proper tone of voice and proper nouns and things like that. So this right here is very much old school rudimentary. The service is still there. They don't want to deprecate it because some software still uses it. But at the end of the day, if you want to do voice recordings to text, we would connect it with Assembly AI. And I think we used the Monkey Bread plugin on that one a little bit. The OCR one, sounds like another. These three things are high traffic items. Take audio or take voice and turn it into accurate text. Take a scan, turn it into accurate text. Right, Miles? Both of those are high value.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to bet. Oh, someone stole my helicopter. I'm willing to bet that the OCR one has been done on an AI by Assembly AI. Miles, can you just bring up Assembly AI real quick? We did a show on this already with Sean Hughes. Margaret, if you can find that Sean Hughes show, just throw it up in the link so people are interested in it. Assembly AI. So it says they basically have services that are pre-cookie cuttered. The idea is that the Monkey Bread plugin would allow you to talk to Assembly AI pretty reliably. I think we had a bug with FileMaker directly talking to it without the Monkey Bread plugin through the REST API. There was a problem with that.
yes, I
Margaret
recall
has,
that being a thing. Yeah.
yeah, and as soon as we switched to using Monkey Bread, the problem went away. And so we sent it to Claris and said, hey, get your excrement organized. So, yeah, so Assembly AI is good for those two. The bottom one of uploading to a S3 bucket, super valuable, right? Like some of you say, I have high resolution videos I want to reference in FileMaker. Can I put 4K videos in a container field? You can, but you probably should not do that. That's where you want to upload to Dropbox and then upload the Dropbox and then upload to Amazon S3, which is basically like uh, an FTP server. It's a cloud in the sky. It's a file server, right? Kind of like Dropbox. But you're going to use an API. It goes to Amazon, and it's super scalable. You can really have a lot of people. You get a lot of people to download links, right? If you get people to download links to your Dropbox, Dropbox can see a surge in traffic, and sometimes they'll disable your account because you're over stressed their and they didn't expect you to, download tickets to the latest, Taylor Swift concert, some bullshit like that. So it blows up their servers. So, but if you put it on Amazon S3, it's awesome. It'll go real well.
So flipping back here, these two are going to talk at the same time. These are two different UI design files that Nick had made. And if you look at those, that neomorphism like page and the ones earlier, these were different designs he was trying out. And it was like, hey, let me package that into a nice little sample file. So you can go and use some of it for yourself. But this one here is UI Energy. Just kind of has this cool like dark green with a little neon. And these are pretty cool. They have desktop, iPhone, iPad, and WebDirect, so some different sizes on them. And then Red Downtown, just bold, but in a different way. But a lot of that red, black, and white kind of theme. And yeah, so these are different sizes, different types of UI.
Yeah, no, Nick has both two really interesting design. There's some neat tricks he shoves in there that pop up every once in a while. That's very Nick tricky, where you're like, how did he do that? And it's some interesting shenaniganery. We had a question about, is there a handy/curated set of button icons?
Uh,
I mean, if you get starting point, You'll notice that whenever you make a new button, there's some icons that we've put into the starting point that you can reuse elsewhere.
Yeah, so that's the question is the pre-canned icons. Yeah, if you want icons at this point, go to icon. Miles, what do you do? Icons 8 or flat icon or something like that?
Icons 8, yeah, but also there is one down here. This was a SVG file helper tool. I think this was from Klaus Levent. But that one there is actually a pack of icons, but it's actually ability to take an icon and convert it to SVG so it can be used in FileMaker.
Ah,
So that is something that if you, I don't know, you wanted to make your logo on something or something, you want to design your own. But yeah, Icons 8 is another one we've used before. Just a bunch of, I mean, it's all sorts of artisan packs that you can go through.
yeah, they're inexpensive at the end of the day. So it's or free totally. If you need a couple,
Mhm.
it's one thing, but if you use a bunch of it, write them a check, cut them a deal, help them out, right? That kind of.
Yeah, and like a lot of art, it's, hey, are you just using this in a presentation versus internal database versus selling something? It's going to have
Yeah,
some different.
yeah, so if you're really busy doing something, that's going to bring revenue in, you should, cover your ass. I use these about once a month, Margaret. Maybe I get an icon a month. I should probably send them $100 if I have a chance to do that. I will, just because I believe in supporting people who give you free. You should try to support them. That's just my limited opinion on things. All right, next, Miles.
Yep. So going back, so those were the design ones. This is another one that is in starting point, but if you want it separate from starting point so you can integrate it with your own database, we have it here. And this was FileMaker and PayPal. We use that with the invoices mostly. But this one, I definitely watched the videos. We did a whole overview and also under the hood video. And then you can also download the file. But that's something, again, if you're kind of intermediate, you could probably poke around on your own. If not, I would recommend you use one of our engineers to help you out with that.
Yeah, if you need this is a good one. Anytime you're doing a lot of API stuff, unless you're an API, killer robot that you're really good at it, I would tend to want to, myself, I try to get help from other people who are better at it than I am and spend more time doing it. This is one of those. So um, I think it's fairly stable. I don't know if we've tried this lately, Miles, but so to be clear, the code that's in this sample is what RCC uses internally with our own billing systems. Okay. So if it quit working, we'd know about it. But what it is that you can take an invoice, you create it in FileMaker, you can push the invoice to PayPal. Then you can send a link to that invoice to your customer. So your customer clicks a link and they go on a web page and they see the invoice from PayPal. You don't have total super artwork control over it, but if the goal is to look halfway professional and have them pay it, it's perfect for that. They can see the invoice on PayPal, they can press the pay button, they can pay it. Okay. And then what happens is that we don't do a push from PayPal to, well, we do a push from PayPal to RCC, but sometimes that can be missed, right? It's the whole idea of pushing and pulling and receiving notifications is a whole like conversation show, right? So what this demo does is that allows you to press a button and re-poll or re-ask is FileMaker server or your copy of FileMaker asking PayPal, hey, has this invoice status been changed? And it says, oh, it was canceled or it was paid or whatever, or it's unchanged, it's not paid. So this demo and the videos talk about that. It's a pretty good tool. And people are getting more used to paying with PayPal, if that makes any sense, right? So,
Yep.
because PayPal is essentially almost a bank at the end of the day. It really is kind of a bank, the bank of PayPal. So, but yeah, we spent some time on that one. So,
Yep, that's a good one there. This next one is one I referenced earlier, FM Gallery. Not for everyone, but for a few people, it's a lot. So think of, Apple Photos, like it's basically that, but within FileMaker. So if you have a ton of images and you want the ability to tag them and see a lot of that metadata and just a lot of organization, that's all here. You can see it has the old FM starting point design style with it. But yeah, this is free, and then there's also some videos here to go through it. And
So yeah,
yeah.
so to be clear on this one, this is not being actively supported. In fact, most of these, let me back up for a second here. So if you look at this one here, or you look at the page in general of all these marketplace items, we don't do ongoing free tech support on them unless we have a compelling reason to do that, right? We already offer free live streams and a free CRM, et cetera. And so we're selective about what we choose to invest our resource, our dollars in. Money is time. People use time. People use money. We have to figure out how to invest that. So this is one of those tools that we built it. There went to some updates. It's kind of an as-is tool. I think it's unlocked, right, Miles? It's unlocked. So you can download it. You can look at it. It's pretty advanced stuff, to be clear. There's a lot that you can learn from that. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work the way you want, and some of you are hoping that Nick will release an update, I don't think he's working on this at the current time. Maybe someday he'll do something again, but Nick likes to show how crazy that you can extend FileMaker to do amazingly crazy things. The problem is Nick's one guy and he gets spread thin sometimes. So that's the problem with that. So just keep that in mind. So FM Gallery is interesting. Feel free to download it and open it up, take a look at it, and you'll learn a lot if you can take it apart and understand what's going on, it will be educational. So
definitely. Okay. Down here is not much to show for this one, but this was a Klaus event, dynamic UI navigation. I believe it's a button bar to be able to make that and move through files. So if you had a set button bar for orders versus for accounts, again, it's a cool one to just go get it, look at it, and you'll probably learn something from that.
Yeah, same with the Andy Lacate's grab bag. Andy Lacate's finally retired from Claris after 30 some odd years. One of the great press spokesmen I've ever seen for the Claris Corporation. So this was a demo file. So anytime that Claris, and there's so few of them down there anymore who really have this skill set, but if you have essentially a FileMaker developer at Claris who builds sample files for Claris, and Nick has done that before too. Andy Lacates would do that. A bunch of engineers would do that. Those sample files can be really educational. So we got this sample file, we put it in here. We don't charge for it because technically it's not ours, and it's as is. But it's FileMaker 14, and it talks about slide controls and various things like that. There's a lot that you can learn from this. So that makes a lot of sense. That's another good one. And then let's see, the SVG. I don't even.
That's the one I mentioned before. Yeah, ability to convert your own image to SVG so you can use it on a button or something.
Well, okay, back up. You can already use it on a button, but you can change dynamically control the color of the artwork, right? I don't even mostly bother with this myself. I go to like flat icon and I can adjust the color there and then I bring it over. But if you wanted to control the colors and do some interesting with that, then you would have to take the icon, turn it into an SVG, and then you can dynamically control the color with FileMaker that way. So
yeah, if you want to hover over your button and have it turn blue, you need that. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
This was a cool one here. Video library publication kit. This was something we built and used a bunch internally, and it was like, well, we still
use it.
We still
use it. So if you go to like, for example, this screen here is the homepage for it. But Miles, can you bring up a new window? Just go like try FileMaker. There we go. So what it is that you have a list of videos you want to publish, or you have a list of PDFs, and you want basic search capability, and you want to show a description and press a button and have it pop in a window and play. You can use this for corporate documentation. So it also handles PDFs and things like that. I'm not sure where the latest release of this is. Jacob Taylor kind of built this, but once again, we eat our own dog food. We use this thing specifically in a number of different places. We use this all over the place. And so Jacob kind of worked with the library on this to make it working. I'm sure Margaret will create one that's OData instead of DAPI. I think this is a DAPI tool. Once again, data and OData and DAPI are communication, I'm going to use the word channels, communication channels out of FileMaker server that web systems can use to get data out. So this is a web page, And if you go back to the Try FileMaker, those are records in the database. So that each of those video across there is a record database. And that one at the top is like a global header kind of thing. It's its own little record marked as a header in the database, right? And so super simple to administrate, super simple to control. It's one table or two tables in each record, right? And those are categories right there. FileMaker Basics is a category. It's probably another table in there. You can change it. It's so easy. And so we've done all the hard work. Realistically, you'd probably want to hire Jacob for a couple hours, or have, 3 or 4 or 5. I don't even know, but you could have something totally done and running, and then you can support it yourself. So you go into FileMaker, you add new videos, you take the video, you load it on YouTube, or you post it somewhere, Vimeo or YouTube. We use Vimeo and YouTube a lot. You put the link in here, and then you give them and they come here and they hit the button, they play it. We also made it so you can have a password to get into here. That's another feature. There's a button and a search feature, right? Like type in their layout. So you type layout. Let's see what we get, and you hit search. And there you go. These are all the videos that have the word layout in the title or in the description, right? I mean, that's like super simple. But do you want to build this from scratch? Well, I can build it with WebDirect. You can try. And then it'll make a giant sucking sound and explode when someone runs it on an old browser, right? So this is total HTML. There's no FileMaker inside of here other than when it opens the page, it, like the big straw, it sucks the data out of FileMaker server and then drops it on the screen for you. Margaret, questions. Miles, questions. Miles, do you have any? Miles actually works in the LPK more than I do. Miles, what do you think about it?
No, I think it's really clean, especially for someone like you said that doesn't, might not have the skills or the time, or if you're just wanting to learn a little bit more on the kind of HTML, PHP side. This will give you a sample file and that code, and just see what you can figure out. And then, yeah, if you need some Jacob help, connecting the pieces, but it's a lot there.
Cool. I think no, people are chatting a bit back and forth. There was brief discussion about webhooks and PayPal.
And then the last two down here are two different starter solutions that were made for different cases, and we just kind of made a public version of them. So this one is an inspection starter solution.
Really?
Yeah. For aircraft mechanics, so it might be useful. But let me just pull that one open.
Oh, I think this isn't the manifest one, is it?
Well, the manifest one is the other one.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, this was the preliminary prototype. Yeah, for real aviation operation, you're going to need more than. Oh, this is a good start, and it's very
a good start. Yeah. Lean on the word starter in the starter solution. But yeah, that's one there. Poke around for inspections. And then the one over here is for flight manifests. And well, I was gonna say that's our last one here. So it's ending on the flight manifest. Good timing.
I was gonna ask because there's a marketplace on rcconsulting.com, because I thought for sure we'd have like the Twilio file in here. So do we have another stash of things, products, and free downloads, I think.
Yes, Marcus pointing out our internal issues here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, there is consolidation plans. We have a page we're working on. But yeah, over here we do have a section 2. A lot of it should be similar, but there might be something
they should be pretty much the same.
These are really old.
Those are like ancient history.
Yeah, it was a recruitment database, and then donations. We had some nonprofits, and so it was some things more geared towards that. There's an audit log, a zip code lookup, and then, like Margaret said, a Twilio demo. I'll double check these ones and see. I don't know if they were purposely taken off the other side or if it was just, ended up with 2 different drawers and we need to clean them out.
But yes, we have everywhere you look, you will see sample files bursting from our seams. So feel free to download and play with them.
Yeah, and then kind of like Richard alluded to, like if you're doing something in one of these realms, whether it's AWS or with PayPal or QuickBooks or something, feel free to reach out and just be like, hey, do you guys have experience with this? Any tips before I dive in? And yeah, gather around the fire and share stories.
Yes, please let us know. All right. Cool, 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 cool. I think we're good otherwise, Miles. I can't think of anything else to add on top of this.
Yeah, I think that's kind of all I got. Yeah, go play with these, and then reach out if you got feedback or need help from anything. They're all pretty much built in-house, so we got a good team with us.
I'm gonna wrap us up, I think. Thank you very much, Miles, for coming out and doing this. It's greatly appreciated. Uh,
Good thing.
I hope you'll have a lovely day, and I will be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.